How was weight today?
Anyone can be
It was good. I took it slow today.
So it's not an ethical
How
trial.
many?
Okay, well,
About-
what does the Trump administration
about
say about
10.
these criticisms?
In a statement, HHS spokesman Andrew Nixon says the existing ways of ensuring the safety of vaccines are inadequate, and the administration is trying to restore trust, and that they are not willing to give vaccine makers a, quote, blank check, unquote, to keep giving people vaccines based on the original data and using a technology that has not been, quote, tried and
There goes
tested
your
for more
bus
than
today.
80 years, like the flu vaccines.
That Japanese
Quote, the
dude
public deserves transparency
got
and
on it,
gold
so I
standard
figured that would've
science,
been your bus.
especially with evolving products.
Yeah.
He also cited recent comments from Food and Drug Administration Commissioner Marty McCary, indicating that the COVID vaccine should be considered new vaccines. McCary said, quote, rather than allow the void to be filled with opinions, I'd like to see some good data, unquote. But that is a departure from existing consensus.
That is NPR health correspondent.
Now they
Thank
want
you
to
so
see
much, Rob.
data, huh?
You bet, Essen.
A lot of Americans turn to online Chinese platforms like Temu and Shein searching for deals, but starting tomorrow, consumers will need to pay import duties on these orders. The Trump administration says the move is to counter fentanyl trafficking. NPR's Emily Fang explains.
This week, Amanda Norris remembered she'd meant to order new pet harnesses to her home in Florida.
Like, oh, I'll get my dog new harnesses and then forgot to order them.
So she checked her basket on Temu, that's a Chinese e-commerce platform, and she discovered
The total for the 2 dog harnesses came to like $33, but then the import charges were an additional $46 and change. So it brought the whole total for the 2 dog harnesses up to $80 something.
$80, more than double the original price. Chinese consumers like her have been posting screenshots of their import duty quotes on social media in the days before these duties started. Nora says she's going to look elsewhere for her shopping now.
I tend to thrift almost everything.
There's been pressure to end what's called the de minimis exemption since the Biden administration. This exemption meant small packages could enter the U.S. for free if they're valued under $800. Great for the consumer if you're ordering, say, hot pants from Chinese e-commerce site Shein or 50 sponges from Temu. But not so great for the U.S. government, which misses out on tax revenue, or American companies who can't compete with these low prices. And there's this.
While most shipments carry legitimate goods, many contain fake or dangerous products that can put American consumers and businesses at serious risk.
This is a new video this week from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, or CBP, which has to screen the more than 1 billion of these small packages that arrive at U.S. ports every year.
Often, what CBP is faced with is a single package in that shipment that they suspect might have some illicit content in it.
This is Laura Murphy. She's a former Department of Homeland Security advisor, now at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. She points out with the new customs duties, importers now need to fill out information about where every small package is coming from and what's in them. It's a lot more work, including for U.S. customs officials, but
they're going to have so much more information in their system that will help them figure out which container has the illicit packages.
Chinese shopping apps like Temu are now promoting what they call local goods, items already in warehouses in the U.S., so no import duties. But those goods will run out at some point. Emily Fang, NPR News, Washington.
President Trump's attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in the federal government have led many corporations like Target to ditch their own DEI policies.
Good.
The big box store now faces a boycott over its decision. Waylon Wong and Julia Ritchie from The Indicator explain whether these kinds of boycotts work.
While Target is bearing the brunt of the backlash, it's not the first brand to face a consumer boycott for seeming to roll over for the Trump administration. Trump's first term was notorious for these kinds of stories that Yura Lokanita began studying. She's a professor of marketing at Cornell University, and the first consumer boycott she studied was the Hispanic food company Goya.
So in 2020, former Goya Food CEO Robert Unanue made a friendly appearance with Trump in the Rose Garden to promote Hispanic and Latino entrepreneurs.
We're all truly blessed at the same time to have a leader like President Trump, who is a builder.
His flattery irked a lot of people on the left, so many boycotted the brand. Meanwhile, conservatives were encouraged
Philip
to add
told
Goya
these
to
people
their
about that.
baskets.
Yura and her co-authors crunched the numbers to find out which side came out on top.
It was a boost in sales around 20%, but it was very short-lived.
Yura says it's hard to directly correlate how much of this bump was customers rallying to Goya's
Who said
side.
what? Philip was telling the sighted people about that some of the shit that they do causes backups on Tryon Street.
Develop a sort of framework for how to determine whether a boycott will be effective
But
economically.
you know what happens when you got
One,
people
who
from,
are the brand's core customers, and does the brand's stance conflict with those consumers?
Factor 2,
you know what the
can
problem
you
is?
swap this brand
What?
easily for something else?
Inconsiderate.
Yura calls this factor substitutability.
Say that 3 times fast.
No way. And this factor played a big role in another boycott she studied on Bud Light.
You may remember in April of 2023, Bud Light and its parent Anheuser-Busch came under fire for a partnership with trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney.
And Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it.
Bud Light sales did take a steep and prolonged hit in the months that followed. And Yura says it's probably because it was easier for consumers to substitute another domestic beer, like Coors or Miller Lite.
For the Target boycott, Yura says this substitutability factor is likely to determine whether the retailer feels ongoing pressure from customers.
Walmart is cheaper.
We reached out to Target to ask if the retailer was reconsidering its decision on its DEI policies. The company responded with an email saying it has an ongoing commitment to creating a welcoming environment for all team members, guests, and suppliers.
These policy rollbacks aren't just a consideration for a politically engaged customer base. It also affects Target's vendors. Take Rucker Roots. It's a Black-owned natural hair care company from Lancaster County, South Carolina. They launched in 2018 and are now carried in stores nationwide. Owner Ellen Rucker Sellers says all of this is making her uneasy.
For me, it's so scary because a lot of times when you are a supplier, you are planning on having inventory for these retailers up to 6 to 9 months prior.
Ellen's co-owner and sister, Ione Rucker Jameson, is discouraged by the DEI rollbacks, but conflicted on the boycott.
Don't boycott so much of these Black businesses that have worked blood, sweat, and tears, that they will go bankrupt from these boycotts, because then that's just not the right strategy that we want to see.
Julia Ritchie,
Waylon Wong, NPR News.
Support for Planet Money comes from Charles Schwab, offering investors choices like full-service wealth management, advice, investing, and trading on Thinkorswim. Learn more at schwab.com.
You're listening to All Things Considered from NPR
I
News.
wanted to leave. If I would have left 5 minutes earlier, which is what I was planning
Good
to
afternoon. You're listening to All Things Considered on 90.7 WFAE and WFAE.com.
Oh, look.
I'm McDella Canal, along with you. Inside the Trump White House, a mysterious and powerful data analytics firm called Palantir is gaining new influence. That story is coming up after this break. Then later in the hour, today's Science News Roundup features several stories, including
Perfecting a classic Roman pasta dish with science, and using the video game Minecraft to study how humans learn.
all that and more from our friends at NPR's Shortwave Podcast, coming up in 15 minutes. It's 84 degrees right now here in Charlotte. There is a 50% chance of rain this afternoon and evening. Lows tonight near 64. Then same story for tomorrow. Highs near 85 with a chance of afternoon rain. It's WFAE at 4:19 on a Thursday. More to come.
WFAE recognizes the nonprofit community support of the Charlotte Ballet, presenting Carmen. A fearless showgirl is caught between two lovers in this classic tale of passion, power, and fate, reimagined in the glitz and glamour of 1973 Las Vegas. All set to live music from the Charlotte Symphony Orchestra. At Night Theater from May 2nd through the 11th. Tickets and more information at charlotteballet.org.
If you've never donated to the station before, that's okay. Public radio is available to everyone for free. But we do rely on listener support from those who are able to give. So join the community of supporters for Public Media Giving Days. And thanks.
WFAE's newsroom keeps you connected to the region, nation, and world. And your support fuels reporting that matters right here at home. During Public Media Giving Days, join us. Give today at WFAE.org. Thanks.
Support for NPR comes from the station and from the Kauffman Foundation, providing access to opportunities that help people achieve financial stability, upward
They
mobility,
ain't turning the
and
AC off
economic
because I had
prosperity,
AC all day and
regardless
it's
of
been
race,
cold.
gender, or geography. Kauffman.org.
That's okay.
From Eric and Wendy Schmidt through the Schmidt Family Foundation, working toward a healthy, resilient, secure world for all. On the web at theschmidt.org. And from the John D. and Catherine G.
Oh, I was going to go to Applebee's.
At macfound.org.
From NPR News, this is All Things Considered. I'm Elsa Chang.
And I'm Juana Summers. It's not a household name, but its power is immense. Palantir. For years, the surveillance company has done work for the Pentagon and Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And now it's expecting a boom in the second Trump administration. NPR's Bobby Allen takes a closer look at the rise of Palantir.
Palantir CEO Alex Karp couldn't contain his excitement. He was on an earnings call with investors earlier this year. Palantir's profits were soaring.
We're doing it. We're doing it. And I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am.
Karp and investors have a lot to enjoy. Palantir, the name comes from the Seeing Stones from Lord of the Rings, has been booming. It's gone from a $50 billion company last April to now being worth nearly $300 billion. For context, that's bigger than Verizon and Disney. Co-founded by billionaire Peter Thiel after the September 11th attacks, Palantir has spent years quietly landing huge contracts with intelligence agencies and governments in the U.S. and abroad. Most big tech companies downplay their military, but Palantir's Alex Karp, he brags about it.
Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare our enemies and on occasion kill them.
While the company is famously closely guarded, it has lifted the veil occasionally on the kind of work it does. Palantir's AI software is used by the Israel Defense Forces to strike targets in Gaza. It's used to assist the Department of Defense to analyze drone footage, and it's now helping the Trump administration with immigration enforcement. ICE records show Palantir recently received a $30 million contract to build a platform to track migrant movements in real time. As its power grows, a former employee is speaking out, something exceedingly rare for the secretive firm.
Palantir has built its brand and its reputation throughout all these years and ability to deflect a lot of criticism because they've claimed to be a company that supports Western values.
That's Juan Sebastian Pinto. He helped market Palantir products, including the systems behind what's known as kill chains, AI-driven networks that help identify targets on battlefields. He's also sold Palantir surveillance tools to governments.
What I really was doing is basically helping a company create a monopoly over artificial intelligence decision-making, and do so first by targeting the federal government.
And he says the federal government was an easy target for business since its software capabilities lag far behind Palantir's. Palantir declined NPR's request for comment, but the company has justified its contracts in the past by saying it is nonpartisan, having worked across multiple administrations. Michael McGrath is not surprised Palantir is getting a lot of work in the Trump administration. He used to be the CEO of data analytics firm i2. It's a Palantir competitor.
They could pull together information from tax returns, employment information, their immigration status, how many children they have, whether their children are legal or illegal. That could be a big asset. It could also be a big risk.
The risks, Pinto says, should be the focus, which is why he says it's important as a former employee to shed light on how the company's products actually work.
I simply cannot live in a world where my grandchildren have to be processed through a database where their everyday activities, including social media posts, as citizens, are tracked, collected, and used for an authoritarian government's policing database.
He admits that he grappled for a while with whether he should publicly criticize the company.
As a former employee, I am not even sure about my personal safety in regards to speaking out.
Other Palantir employees have wanted to warn about how the company's technology can be abused by governments, but he says they are under legal agreements to stay silent. Bobby Allen, NPR News.
When frogs start disappearing from a place that they've been in for decades,
Who gives a shit? We care more about frogs than we do people. What do you have to say about that, Joe?
Well, people can be assholes.
That's true too.
I care more about road noise than frogs. Me?
You're a genius, Joe. You read minds.
I'm just a uologist, Daddy.
I just want you to know how much I love you, Joe. What time do you think we should leave tomorrow? You've been tracking how long it takes to get there and stuff, right?
7.5 hours, and contrary to what Mommy says, I really don't stop that much.
I know. So 7.5 hours.
And check-in's at 4. Mommy said something about 6 a.m., but if we did that, guess what?
What?
We'd probably get there around 2:30, 3. If our room's not ready, what the hell are we going to do for an hour in Cocoa Beach?
7. We need to leave around 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to set the thing for 5:40 tomorrow.
Okay.
How was your lunch today?
Yeah, it's great. I don't know. Someone's up with me. Maybe it's because I knew I was going on vacation tomorrow, and it's like, I was just slow as hell today to do anything.
Fucking people. Oh, pay attention, damn it.
They're sighted. They don't know how. What street is this?
This here is Central. We're going to Charlotte Avenue and go up. We're going to be late anyway.
You mean Sharon Amity?
Yeah, Sharon Amity. We're going to be late anyway.
Yep.
Go at 4:30. It's 4:20.
This is why I was hesitant to make an appointment in the first place, because I knew we'd be late.
Well, I know next time we'll make an appointment for
5.
No, 4:45.
No, because then someone will get some bicycle will get creamed on the plaza, remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
I think people aren't paying attention here. We're going to the world capital of drivers.
You're right.
Huh?
You are right.
Yeah, these people here might be dumb, but the level of stupidity that Florida has when it comes to their drivers necessitates scientific study. And then they sit there and bitch because their car insurance rate's too high, which always makes me laugh. What?
No, I was just being nasty.
this was a recent phenomenon. Like, this is just this year, Eastway and Randolph started having really bad traffic. And they never used to have traffic like that before.
It's All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Elsa Chang.
And I'm Juana Summers. Coming up, a newly discovered species of caterpillar.
Get this, they eat other bugs, and then they wear the dead bodies of those bugs.
They crawl around flaunting it. It's a little bit Mad Max, honestly, when I think about it.
They're called bone collectors. We'll tell you more after this news.
Live from NPR News in Culver City, California, I'm Dwayne Brown. One day after President Trump acknowledged for the first time that Americans will soon be paying more for imported goods because of his tariffs, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff is pushing back on the reported impacts. Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller says the president's tariffs are working as intended to boost manufacturing in the U.S.
We have the most desirable market in the world. If you want to sell cars tariff-free, tax-free to our market, your plant has to operate in the United States. The only alternative to that is to have no U.S. automobile industry whatsoever, which is where this was headed, to be clear.
About 45% of the vehicles sold in the U.S. in 2023 were imported. That includes those assembled in Mexico and Canada. Today, the CEO of General Motors said they're amending this year's financial outlook to account for a $5 billion drop in profits as a result of Trump's tariffs on cars and trucks. As Israelis mark Independence Day this week, Palestinians are commemorating 77 years since their mass displacement from what is now Israel. Palestinian activists say they canceled an annual march due to Israeli police restrictions. Here's NPR's Adil Al-Shouchi.
Palestinian activists said among the restrictions Israeli police placed on their annual Nakba march included banning the Palestinian flag and limiting the number of participants. Thousands annually participate. Nakba, or catastrophe, is the word used for the 1948 expulsion of Palestinians. Maqbool Nassar is one of the march's organizers. Nassar said since the beginning of the war in Gaza, Palestinians have faced major constraints in their freedom of expression. Israeli police said the demonstration's conditions were not met, but did not respond to NPR's request for clarification. Adil Al-Shouchi, NPR News, Tel Aviv.
This is NPR.
This is WFAE News. I'm Nick Della Canal. The Leon Levine Foundation is increasing its support for its flagship scholarship program at UNC Charlotte. WFAE's Kenneth Lee has more.
The Levine Scholars Program will continue at UNC Charlotte through at least the 2032-33 academic year, following a nearly $25 million gift from the Leon Levine Foundation. Launched in 2009, the program offers a full 4-year scholarship to selected students. Applicants can be nominated by a high school counselor or college advisor, or they may submit a self-nomination. The program currently accepts 20 students per year, with about 80 scholars on campus at any given time. While the new gift will not increase the number of participants, faculty director Heather Smith said it will enhance the student experience.
This gift allows us to make sure that the fuller cost of attendance at the university for the full 4 years, that the fuller cost of their 4 distinct experiences in the summer is closer to the reality of what that actually costs.
Levine scholars also receive an $8,000 grant to design and complete a community service project. More than 200 alumni have graduated from the program. Kenneth Lee, WFAE News.
All public school entities in North Carolina have certified to the U.S. Department of Education that they comply with federal Title VI laws against discrimination. The Trump administration required that certification in an April letter that advanced its crackdown on DEI programs in schools and government. North Carolina Superintendent Mo Green said today the state submitted its certifications with a caveat. The state believes it already complies with Title VI and is not making any new interpretations of the law.
The U.S. Department's request contains broad statements about, quote, diversity, equity, and inclusion, without clearly, end quote, without clearly defining what specific practices might violate Title VI.
Green said his department believed the certification request was redundant. He maintained the state schools would continue to ensure fairness and make decisions based on merit. Huge crowds are expected in Uptown Charlotte tomorrow for the start of the Love and Life Music Festival. Streets will be closed around First Ward Park for the 3-day event, and it may not fully reopen until Tuesday. Love and Life won't be the only event drawing big weekend crowds. Kendrick Lamar and SZA will perform at Bank of America Stadium on Saturday. This is WFAE News.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from CFP, Certified Financial Planner Professionals, committed to acting in their clients' best interests. Learn more at letsmakeaplan.org. From Indeed, committed to giving job listings increased visibility with relevant candidates through its sponsored jobs feature. Learn more at Indeed.com/NPR. And from the Skoll Foundation, dedicated to powering social innovators to transform the world. Learn more at skoll.org.
From NPR News, this is All Things Considered. I'm Elsa Chang in Culver City, California. And I'm Juana Summers in Washington. And it's time now for our Science News Roundup from Shortwave, NPR's science podcast. I am joined by the show's two hosts, Emily Kwong and Regina Barber. Hi, all. Hi, Juana. Hey. Okay, so once again, you've brought us 3 science stories that have caught your eye. Tell us what they are.
Yes. Okay, scientists using the video game Minecraft to study how humans learn. Perfecting a classic Roman pasta dish with science. And a possible reason on why more and more young people are getting colorectal cancer.
Okay, we've got a lot of range this week, a lot of options. Clearly, you knew who you were talking to, so we've got a video game story. So I want to start with Minecraft, if we can.
Yes.
It is now a very popular movie based, of course, on a video game that is especially popular among kids.
Yeah, it's got very blocky graphics, calming music, and one of the goals of the game is to collect resources around this expansive landscape, mining, building materials, gems, and food.
Right, I'm familiar with this one, but I want to know, what can it tell us about the learning process?
Yeah, it can tell us a lot about social learning, so learning in groups. A study in the journal Nature Communications tried to bridge this gap between studying how we learn individually and how we learn socially by watching over 100 participants with specific goals in crafted Minecraft environments. Specifically, the lead researcher of the study, Charlie Wu, said he was curious about the argument that human success is not only because of individual brains,
but rather it's the power of our ability to learn socially and culturally from one another.
We're stronger together, Juana. Yes. And in the past, these two modes of learning, on your own or mimicking another person, were mostly studied in isolation. It was either one or the other.
But I take it that is not the case in this study?
No. So in this study, researchers created a few scenarios where it would be more or less advantageous for Minecraft players to mimic other players, to, for example, mine around the spot where they saw other players on their screen gathering gems. In some scenarios, the rewards were clustered, which altered how much...
Let's go, Joe. Oh, God.